Hello, friends at YouTube. How are you? My name is Mike. This channel over here is Health and Wealth. We're changing it up today on the direction of the Health and Wealth, but thank you so much for joining me today. I want to talk about MSTY. I want to talk about everyone's favorite subject. How do I get this thing to $1 million? This is make-believe. This is unicorns. This is perfect world conversation, but I'm going to dip in some reality as we go here. So if you enjoy the content, hit the like button. Be one of the 10% to hit the like button. And if you really enjoy the content, hit subscribe. I'm glad that you're here with me. Really appreciate the loyalty to the channel. I'm trying to get to 10,000 people before Christmas. Can you help me make that happen? Let's do it. All right, so I've got a bunch of different numbers to run through. I got a bunch of different charts to go through with you here. I think you might find this interesting. I know for me, I always think, end dream, right? End goal. Let's get to something sustainable. Underline that word, sustainable for years on end so that I can retire, right? That's the goal here. I want to live that dream. I love to play that dream out in my head. I don't know if you are the same as me, but I think about it all the time. And MSTY is, as many say, right, retire on dividends, the GOAT, right? MSTY is the top fund over at yieldmax. It has a new friend called PLTY. That's kind of joining that conversation, but PLTY has been out for more than less than half of the time of MSTY. So it's a brand new little baby out here in the world. So what I've done is I ran some numbers. I actually incorporated some AI here to help me find these numbers, but I did go through them myself just to be sure that the AI was correct. First thing I'm going to do here is going to bring up my own chart that I made, and I share with you guys on, at least one time a month. This is about my personal investment into the fund. It's actually more than this and more than this. Now, I think I have 221 shares, but I said I was going to cap it at 200, but I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to keep it rolling here, but let's ignore this page for now. I wanted to scroll down to these numbers here. These are all of the distributions that MSTY's paid out since its inception, which was February. And so far it has paid out $36.86 worth of distributions in 14 months, which is incredible. The key number here that I want to really look at, let me go over this way for you, get my face out of the way here, is $2.63. That's the average of all of those payments put together, divided by 14 equals $2.63. Now, I found this information on yieldmax's website. And so, yieldmax's website has all of the distribution listed under MSTY. So let's go with $2.63 as our average, which is good, right? That's good to see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up some other info here. I'm going to bring up this sheet right here. So if $2.63 is the average monthly distribution over the past 14 months, then we can estimate that the annualized dividend yield by multiplying the monthly average by 12 to annualize it and comparing it to the current share price. So step by step here, average monthly distribution is $2.63. Estimated annual distribution, if you just multiply that by 12, is $31.56. So it averages out to what that number was before. Its current share price as of the recording of this video is $21.68. Now that could go up, that could go down. Lately it's been going down. More about that in a little bit here. There's the math, how it was sorted out. The estimated annual dividend yield is approximately 145.6%, which is absolutely insane. Is it sustainable? Underline that line again, that word again. I don't think it is, but we're playing perfect world, unicorns, rainbows, and just sunshine, right? So note, this is an unusually high yield and may indicate a temporary spike in distributions, which is not sustainable over long term. So if you're new to MSTY, the reason that's so volatile, so high, is because it follows the underlying stock called MicroStrategy, or just Strategy. Its stock symbol is MSTR. Essentially, they buy Bitcoin. And because of that, they're very volatile. yieldmax plays the options, right, with the calls and the synthetic options on MSTR, and they generate income for us, the investors, which is nice. This is a high risk investment. It's actually one of the most high risk investments. Well, I shouldn't say one of the most, but it's very high risk. So we'll leave it at that. Which means that this fund is volatile. The price of the shares could go flying up. They can go flying down. Lately, they've been kind of hovering around the $21 mark, but you can see here the last line here, or potential decline in share value relative to payout levels. So that's the next thing I wanted to talk about. As the share price comes down, so does the distributions. Okay, as the share price goes up, generally so does the distribution. So that's important to understand as well. If you're new to YieldMax or MSTY or any of these funds, Nvidia, Coney, I encourage you to go look at Nvidia, go look at Coney, and go look at their distributions in proportion to their share price. Coney is a good one. Coney is trading around 780 right now, and it's paying out 77 cents. So that's what just came out, right? So it's important to understand as the share price comes down, so does the distributions. All right. So that's all of the stuff. Let's go over some other numbers here. I've got some pretty cool websites open over here. So there's the first one. What I've done is I've compared MSTY to Mister. And this is just the first one I want to go over with you guys. This is a website which I'll link below actually in the description of the video. But it just compares if you had have invested in MSTY on day one or Mister on day one, where you would be at, right? So 1.26 years here. You can see the initial share price was 21.60. It was $68.74 for Mister. Now, Mister has absolutely blown MSTY out of the water. If you had to put the same $10,000 in Mister, you would be far ahead right now. But you wouldn't be making your income, but you would be ahead in dollar amount. And I think that's really what really matters. I know that's what matters to me, right? So the chart down below is if you don't drip. Do you drip, bro? That's a good question to ask. And up top here is if you do drip, bro. For me, I'm not a dripper on most of mine. I'm not a dripper on MSTY, but I'm contemplating doing something similar to that. That's for sure. So let's take a look at some other things. By the way, the website is here, dividendchannel.com. If you ever want to go kind of cruise around in there and explore it, you can put in whatever symbol you want, and you can actually compare it to other symbols out there, which is pretty awesome. Here's YieldMax's website with all of the distributions listed. That's the ones that I have on my little Excel spreadsheet. And then MSTY's share price right now, 21.60, going up 10 cents, 79 cents. Again, there's my spreadsheet with all those numbers that YieldMax has. I just record it every month because I like to kind of keep track here of my payments and everything like that. And then the next one I have open here is my dividend calculator. I shouldn't call it mine. The one I currently have it open, so I'm calling it mine. But this is marketbeat.com. It's a pretty cool little website here. You can go in and just punch in any numbers you want. So I've got MSTY in here. I have it as an individual stock. They don't have ETFs. I have it as monthly. So this is going to be slightly skewed because MSTY pays out 13 times a year, a year, 13 times a year. Say that one more time. Which means that the numbers I'm about to show you are not as good as what they could be by a slight amount. It's not super recognizable, but anticipate that there would be one extra payment in here than what we're looking at. I have drip set to yes on this one. I do have 460 shares here because if you multiply 460 by the current share price, it brings you to $10,000. I also thought, wow, that distribution rate is just far too high. But you know what? It was accurate, 145%. That's what we're seeing here on MSTY's website as well. Just so you know, this changes every single day. That goes up, that goes down, depending on the share price. Don't write this down as gospel and think, wow, this is going to be the same every single month. It's not. Okay? It's not. Let's go with expected annual dividend increase. I'm going to say 0. And let's say share price appreciation. I'm going to say 0 to that as well. It could go down. It could go down, right? It has gone down over the last couple of months. I also said years invested 20. And I kept it a little personal for me here because you know what? I've been thinking about this for a long time. 15% tax rate. That's how much I pay here in Canada on a TFSA, which stands for tax-free savings account. So I'm just going to go ahead and calculate those dividends right there. The goal here is for me to think to myself, when will this reach $1 million? Put our finger like this. I love gold. So that's a joke. I don't love gold at all. Too heavy, hard to store. For me, I'd rather Bitcoin, but that's not advice. None of this is advice, by the way. I'm just a guy in a Toronto Raptors t-shirt, hanging out on my break, talking to you on YouTube about the potentials of life. And yeah, look at this, 460 shares. I'm really not that far off that. If I double what I currently have right now, I would almost be there. So I think I'm going to keep investing in Misty, by the way. Keep building that one up. We'll see what the pie looks like at the end of the road here. But yeah, I'm just going to scroll down, show those numbers to you. So there's the first 460 shares. Your annual dividend per share, if everything stays the same, is $31.63. Your annual dividend is $14,551, right? That's an investment of 10 grand. You're getting back 14,000. That's insane. Annual dividends after taxes, $12,368. Again, monthly, but it is 13 times a year. And after drip value, $22,366. Now, I would be really pleased with that if that was true. And I know for the past year, it's been true. It's been true for the past year. Can it keep going, though? What if we have a Bitcoin winter? What if there's a huge sell-off? What if Mr. just tumbles down the road here? What if, right? What if all of these things can happen? Look at this. Year-end shares own 1,029 shares. Pretty amazing. Now we carry that forward to year two. Now you're at that 1,029, and you're making after taxes $27,000 in distributions. You know what? For me, that's US. I think I could probably live on 27,000 a year with my current budget. I think I could. I wouldn't want to, but I think I could figure it out. Next up, though, let's go to year three. We're all the way up to 61,000. By the way, I could totally live off 61,000, no problem. That pays all the bills, plus the whistles. And year 438,000 in annual distribution. Your total value now is $250,000, 436. Yeah, 430. I shouldn't have said dollars there, should I? It's $250,436, and that's just at the end of year four. Year five, 560 grand, and then somewhere in between year five and year six, you're hitting that $1 million range. Congratulations, and you know, if you stuck to it, and if that holds up, which I highly doubt it's going to hold up, but you never know, right? So for me, I'm putting not all of my eggs in this basket because I understand things fails, markets crash. Not everything is good forever. They will have dips in the road, up and down. But it's interesting to think if you put maybe a small portion of your investment into this, where it could go. If we take a look here at year 20, which I would be in my 60s when this happens, and I would have no reason to do this at all, because that's way too much money. But it would be what's that? What's the math on that right there? Does that say 98,604,479,497 something like that? That's insanity. It's too good to be true, everybody. I don't see that happening. But it's fun to play the game, right? So for me, speaking of game, 460 shares is not too much to ask for. For me, you know, that's a good little chunk of change, but for me, that's my risk tolerance level is high, and that it wouldn't matter to me if I lost that amount of money. It wouldn't change my life. But where it would change my life is if it did do what it has been doing over the last 14 months. So for me, it's worth the risk to buy the 460 shares and then drip it. Let it ride for 3-4 years and see where it ends up. Because it doesn't matter to me if I lose that, right? I mean, it would suck, obviously, but it wouldn't cripple my life, if that makes sense to you. And so I don't know if you're the same with me, but for me, I'm not buying any of these shares on margin. I'm just going to buy it with earned money, and then we're going to see where it goes. If I start buying things on margin or with my home equity line of credit, and this thing goes down to $15 and starts paying out, I don't know, $1.10 a month, I'm going to be annoyed. I'm not going to be happy with that. But if I buy it with money that I'm okay with losing, then whatever, right? Whatever. Such is life. All good. And I think that's important for you to maybe reel in as well. Take the fantasy out of this, right? Punch yourself in the face. If the market crashes and you take out 10 grand in debt, what are you going to do to pay that 10 grand back? Are you going to sell your shares? I guess so. But I think it's very, very important to understand that this is super risky and you could lose a lot of that money. So I wanted to make this video because I sit here at nighttime and I think, how can I make money? How can I go ahead and, get rich and things like that? And this is one of the ways I think I can do it. But the reason I wanted to make this video with a little bit of a tone to it, like a reality check, is because I have people in the comments saying, YOLO, I'm going all in and I don't care, right? So I think it's important that we are realistic about our expectations, understand 145% most likely won't happen. As the share value goes down, so will that 145%. So will the length of time expand to get to that $1 million as well, right? So, so far, you guys, it's been incredible. It has been incredible. And it makes me want to dive into that 466 shares faster. So what I'm doing with my Nvidia money, with my MSTY money, is I'm just reinvesting it into MSTY until I get to, I think I'm going to 500 shares. So it's about 40 shares a month I'm buying. I'm at about 220 shares right now. So I don't know. You do the math for me. Help me out in the comments below. When will I get there? And from that moment on, I'm turning on drip. And we're going to see where it goes. I know what you're going to say. Do it yourself. Buy on the ex-dividend day. But you know what? It's so much easier for me to drip it. So I think I'm going to do that. We're going to see how it goes. You know what? Plans change, though. If you enjoyed this content, you like the plant, it's back, by the way. Tom Brady Green Jr. back here. Hit the comments with some advice in life and help our fellow members out here by subscribing, liking, and I hope that this video brought you some sort of enjoyment in life and some value. And if it did, I'm very appreciative of you, and I hope that I get to talk to you again soon. My name is Mike. This channel is Health and Wealth. Have a great day. Bye for now.